Wendy Osefo seems to be making some major moves to escape humiliation after trying to stunt for Real Housewives of Potomac backfires. And it's looking like this might just have been the wake-up call that she needed all along.
Indeed, a wake-up call. And I would venture to say that this is something that she should not shy away from, because this is a time to face up and to confront what it is that has caused her and Eddie to be in this situation in the first place. You know, this is a time to examine who you're really trusting in life. This is a time to examine why you really did what you did. And wake up call is so appropriate, because now, as we have come to find out, the initial reports were saying that she had been fired from Wesleyan College or a university. But we have come across some more information stating that that wasn't necessarily the case, but that she
actually resigned. And that's from TMZ. Wesleyan actually reached out to TMZ and says, contrary to recent media reports, Dr. Wendy Osefo was not terminated from a faculty position at Wesleyan University. She formally submitted her letter of resignation prior to any public announcement made by the university. They said Dr. Osefo made the voluntary decision to step down from her role. This decision was made independently and communicated directly to the university before any external reports surfaced. So that is a move that Wendy's making. She has made that decision on her own to, step back. And it's really, it goes along with what a lot of people were thinking, how she wouldn't be able to actually, or want to actually face the consequences or the public scrutiny of, the things that are the allegations that are going forth right now. But it actually works in her favor too, because she needs this time to sit down and process and think about what led them to this position right now. And there's a scripture in the Bible that there is now no temptation that is, fallen, but such as to common to man. But with the temptation, the Lord makes a way of escape for them, because the person, they're tempted when they're drawn away by their own desires and wants and enticed. But God makes the way of escape for the people. Even though he had nothing to do with the temptation of that, he has made a way of escape. And they need to sit down and see and listen and hear from the Lord, because I doubt either of them ever pictured themselves being in this position.
I doubt they pictured this at all.
And there's something that led them here. Now, whether or not it was, like we said, the other video, them trying to keep up with the Joneses, or, the excessive pride that led to this type of situation, the haughtiness, the insecurity within themselves, all of that, those are things that need to be examined and rooted out of them, so that they never find themselves in this situation or a worse one again. And this move, it made me think that the other thing that happened with the celebrity wife swap, that Bravo pulled her episode.
Right.
And everyone was saying how this is something that Bravo's never done, even with all the scandals that have befallen other housewives. They haven't pulled any episodes, and it's not like they're even pulling her Potomac episode.
Right.
So why would they pull this wife swap episode? And it's making me think that maybe Bravo didn't have anything to do with pulling it.
That Wendy also said no.
Exactly, because this was going to be filming extensively in her house.
Right.
With another person being in her house, taking her position, her role in her house. Who knows what could have been shown in those actual clips, in those scenes. So these are things, again, that I think Wendy is, making some moves now to try to stave off having to be under even more scrutiny, even more humiliation because of what's going on right now. So it's kind of, it looks like Wendy is using the time to reflect because, after they got released, after they bailed out last Friday,
right?
They released that statement. And they said that they're back home safely with their family and in good spirits.
Okay.
And they are grateful for the outpouring of concern and support from friends, fans, and colleagues. And they, alongside their legal team, look forward to their day in court.
Okay.
At this time, they respectfully ask for privacy as they focus on their family and the legal process ahead. So it looks like they're using this time to kind of strategize and plan.
I definitely hope that they are using this time for self-reflection and contemplation about what led them to this place. Of course, no one wants to see this for our beautiful melanated people. Mm-hmm. No one wants to see this because this is not something that we have looked at in these arenas and said, oh, well, it would be nice to see this happen to that particular person because I don't like them. No, we want the best for these people who have strived to be where they are.
Right.
And so wanting the best for them also includes wanting them to really take a step back and look at what they have allowed in their own lust,
right?
In their own pride, in their own deception as far as deceiving themselves,
right?
And seeing this environment they're in and thinking that this is something that they needed to do to keep up with the Joneses. No, we want to see better for them.
Exactly.
And I think it's also a way of protection for them in that these things are occurring now because whatever led them to do what we allegedly is seeing now.
Right. Or whatever, even be in that position.
Or be in that position. We don't know what it was, but whatever it was, they can take stock of what it was and look and see if this is something that even Eddie needed to be involved in with this other business that has just come forth. I think this is possibly some form of protection for them because I would assume that now he can no longer have that business. If they, if are things convicted. If things like this are brought to the forefront, I would assume that has been put on the burner or the back burner. And who knows, it could be a form of protection. Maybe this wasn't something he was supposed to go into because look, I've heard stories about these businesses and how people have been really taken off guard in some incidents that have happened in these businesses.
Exactly.
And when I first heard about Eddie being in that particular business, an overwhelming feeling of, oh, why is he doing that?
Right.
So with all this coming to the forefront as it is, it makes me look and think that this is some form of protection for them. Because even so, let's say they are cleared of all of this, even so, it would make them look and say, well, hey, do we really need this particular business?
Right.
There's a lot of things going on within that arena.
Right. I mean, even just to play advocate for a minute, some of this could have stemmed directly from that, because with that type of business, you know how long it took for that to be legalized, mainly because of money involved and where it will be going.
Right.
And people not being able to figure out a way where they can have access to some of the money that will be made on sales.
Right.
Well, they finally figured that way out, but it's still very heavily regulated.
Yeah.
And it's something that is a growing industry, and there's always someone else that's trying to come and muscle in on someone else's territory when it comes to things like that.
That's
when
true.
it comes to that specific type of industry. And with them having young children, that's not a position that anyone wants to be in, where the family could be exposed in some kind of way, or the children being put on the forefront of things like that. So yeah, this could it could have been some sort of thing related to that, trying to muddy up the waters to push them out of that too.
Exactly.
And then even if it's not, even if the allegations are, true or whatnot, it's still something that can be turned for their good in this situation. Because we talked about this in the other video. There are things that people really just need to sit alone with the Lord for, to root out some things and to figure out what is taking them down certain paths.
That's
what
true.
has led them into certain positions.
That's right.
And with this is that moment. This is that wake up call, because it really could have been something worse.
It could have been something else. And speaking of the professor, Dr. Wendy, I want her to look at all of this as a teaching moment, Professor. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Look at this as a teaching moment. Sit down. Find out what happened. What were the steps that led to this? And situate this. As the Englanders say, sort it.
Yes.
Sort this.
Sort it. Yeah.
Okay? Because this is definitely a wake-up call. A wake-up call for the better.
Right.
Okay?
Because to me, I really feel like it started coming on this show. Real Housewives.
I believe it.
Because even in that first season that she had, she came on again. We talked about this. She came on. She was very her degrees. She's a doctor. Refer to me as Dr. Wendy. She thought she was coming on to present a particular image.
Right.
At least that's what it seemed like her intention was at the time.
Yes.
But some kind of way she pivoted from that image, and it became more of her trying to keep up with the other ladies
and impress
them. When she started getting that work done on her body, and she became so
self-consumed.
Yes, that's the word. Self-consumed with what she looked like. She started exposing herself more, and it's something that she began stunting for the show.
Exactly.
And that is something that always takes people down a wrong path, because they're not being authentic anymore.
Exactly.
And it's a lot of stuff. Like when you think about how people are probably trying to keep up with the Joneses, a lot of the stuff that they do is not even what the other is doing.
Exactly.
So spending thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars on brand name things, when the other people could be getting those for free, could be getting, the actual designer wanting them to wear their clothes so that they can get publicity.
Yeah.
So they're assuming, they're making assumptions that someone is doing certain things a certain way, and then they're basing their own behavior on that, instead of actually being
authentic with what she came on originally for.
Exactly.
She came on originally putting forth the education aspect of it,
mm-hmm.
the successful aspect of it, the success, and she needed to stay within that vein.
Yeah, and be secure within her own self and the things that she was able to bring to the table.
Exactly.
Without stunting for this. And that's the thing. People began to look at other situations, other material things as their source, instead of looking at Jesus, looking at the Lord God Jesus as their source. And that is what happens with a lot of people. They start seeing these things like the show. Oh, this is her source. This is where she's got to get her fulfillment from. This is where she's got to get the money from. This is where she has to get, people looking at her a certain way. She even said on, I think the first episode they came back, when Kiana was coming at her talking about, you didn't say hi to me when you went to speak at this thing, and when he was like, you wanted me to, stop in the middle while I'm on stage and say hi, how you doing, or whatnot.
Yeah.
And then the girl was like, I would have reached out to or acknowledged my friends or something like that. And Wendy said, this is very interesting, whatever Kay's idea of friendship is, because Wendy is used to people. She said this. I'm used to people, giving me accolades.
Yeah.
Not trying to, be mad at her because she didn't say hey during the speech. But that's what she tells you what it is. She's used to getting her accolades and getting praised from outside sources, and she looks to something like that for fulfillment, to fill up her cup. And that has not been serving her well at all, because we see the position that it has led to her being in.
She got caught up. And that's never, as we see, a good place to be. Know who your source is. And baby, it ain't a TV show.
Nope.
It ain't a Birkin bag.
Nope.
It ain't accolades.
Nope.
It ain't what people think of you. But it's what you think of yourself.
So this right here is, it may seem like a tough moment for them, but so they can get back to the important things for them.
And that would definitely be our prayer for this family, that there is a defining moment to know what they truly believe and who they truly believe. That's it. That's all.
All right, let us know what you guys think in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.